They said it was impossible, that no army could cross the Alps, that no general could march elephants through snow and ice, and that Rome would laugh at anyone foolish enough to try. I am Hannibal Barca, and I laughed back. Not out of arrogance, though yes, there was a little of that, but because I knew something they did not. The audacious, the brave, and the relentless can rewrite the rules of war. From my earliest days in Carthage, my father's words echoed in my ears. Hannibal, swear upon the gods that you will never be a friend of Rome. I swore. I swore with a boy's fire in my chest and a heart that already beat for victory. And so began a lifetime of strategy, risk, and battles that would haunt the proudest Senate halls. I learned early that war is as much about psychology as it is about swords and spears. The Romans feared predictability, routine, and hesitation. I would give them none. I trained my soldiers not just to fight, but to think, to anticipate, to surprise. By the time I was old enough to command my own army, I was not a man. I was a storm contained in human skin. My campaigns in Iberia were only the beginning. Each victory brought me closer to my true objective, the heart of Rome itself. But it was not enough to strike from the familiar lands. I had to challenge the very gods of geography. The Alps, immense, deadly, and unforgiving. People called it madness, elephants, snow, cliffs, avalanches, a procession of death waiting for any who dared. But I had vision, and vision requires risk. My army, hardened by years of battle in Iberia, looked to me with trust and fear in equal measure. I told them, "Follow me, and history will remember you, not your fear." Every step was a battle. Rocks slid underfoot, storms tore at our cloaks, and snow blinded even the strongest eyes. The elephants were my pride and my responsibility. Each one carried not only supplies and weapons, but the weight of belief that we could do the impossible. Many fell, many cursed, some whispered that even the gods had turned against us. But we pressed on, and when we descended from those mountains into the Italian plains, the Romans did not believe what they saw. My army appeared like ghosts, like spirits risen from the Alps themselves. And the elephants, they were giants of terror, shaking the earth with each step. Rome had never faced anything like this. At Trebbia, I lured them into an ambush, turning their confidence into fear. My cavalry circled, my infantry held firm, and the rivers ran cold with the panic of the unprepared. I tasted victory and knew it was only a prelude. Lake Trasimene was next. The fog of the morning became my ally, hiding men and horses and the threat of total annihilation. The Romans marched blindly, their formations crumbling before they even realized what had struck. Each day Rome learned to fear my name, but that fear made me cautious too. Strategy is not rashness, it is patience, calculation, and knowing to strike like a serpent. And then came Cannae, my masterpiece. The encirclement, the trap that history would whisper about for centuries. I had studied every Roman tactic, every expected move. I shaped the battlefield like a sculptor, bending it to my will. And when the Romans advanced, I let them in, let them believe they would crush me. And then I struck from every side. Thousands fell, and Rome trembled as my men and elephants moved as one unstoppable force. But victory is a fleeting companion. Carthage was never Rome, and even the greatest victories cannot always secure peace.
My enemies adapted. My homeland feared my ambition. And yet, I do not regret a single moment. Every step, every risk, every lost elephant and fallen soldier was part of a story that would echo across millennia. Today, you remember the Alps, the battles, the audacity of a man who dared to defy an empire. But remember this, I was not just a general. I was Hannibal Barca, the boy who swore to challenge Rome, the man who marched through mountains and rivers, the strategist who made the impossible inevitable. And if you think courage, ingenuity, and relentless will cannot change the course of history, then look again. We did. We marched. We struck. And we became legend.